And a couple of years ago, they hello? Sure, 1 minute.
Missing someone.
Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mag. It's usually about this time of year that I start to think about my goals and my plans for the next year. I know that for some people, they're like,
time is just a construct. We don't need to be setting goals at the start of the year. We don't need to be setting resolutions at the start of the year.
and to that I say, well, firstly, I don't think you're one of those people if you've clicked on this video. But secondly, for me personally, I like to set goals at the start of the year because I find that by the end of the year, like this year in particular, I get to the end and I'm just completely burnt out, very drained, very tired from the year that was. And then we have Christmas and New Year's, which a lot of people usually take about at least a week, if not 2 or 3 weeks off during this period. And this is when I like to just recharge the batteries and really take some time off and reflect. I like to come back in the new year feeling really refreshed. There's just a different energy in the air, I find, at the start of the year. Everyone's, relaxed, happy, and optimistic. So that is why I like to set goals around this time of year as we go into the new year. And I should also mention that I think that the end of the year is a really great time to reflect and celebrate the wins that you have achieved this year, as well as reflect on the goals that are still a work in progress or goals that are no longer realistic as well. Now personally, I don't like to set New Year's resolutions because, let's be honest, who the flop actually keeps their resolutions past the second week of January? Let's be honest. I mean, if you do, credit to you for sure, but the vast majority of us never actually keep our resolutions. But in terms of goal setting, I think this is really important to have a purpose or something to strive and to aspire towards achieving throughout the year. So I think goal setting is really important and it's something that I like to do every year. So if you'd like to hear more about the template that I use, let's get into it. So this is the template that I use. I create it in Google Sheets, but you can also use Excel as well. And I know some people like to use really cute planners or journals, but I like to keep it simple and just use a Google Sheets document. I'm not gonna lie, it's not like super cute or aesthetic in any way, but I'm sure those of you who are really good with Excel or Google Sheets can jazz it up a little bit. I am definitely a Excel noob, so I do definitely keep it pretty simple. You can also jot it down on a piece of paper. It really doesn't matter. This is just how I like to track it. So basically what I do is create a spreadsheet where I segment it by quarters. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and then December. And then I segment it by specific areas in my life that I have particular goals in. So this is, for me, business/career, finance, health, family and friends, self-development, and holidays, meaning vacations. But you can obviously choose whatever areas that you want to focus on, and I leave a gap for 3 specific goals to go in per segment. But you can start off with maybe 1 per segment as well. As someone who is definitely just extremely burnt out after this year, just because I had so many goals that I wanted to achieve, I definitely think that I am going to be a lot more realistic and kind to myself next year and not overdo it. So then to populate it, if we were to start off with business/career, I start off at the end what I want to achieve by the end of the year. So for example, for me, it would be move into a senior role. And then I simply work backwards and jot down what I need to achieve per quarter to be able to achieve that particular goal at the end of the year, which is to move into the senior role. So in the first quarter, I need to have that conversation with my manager and let her know that I want to move into a senior role. And we'll set goals together on how to achieve that. And it's really important to set things like goals, KPIs, and create a development plan. The next quarter, the next goal might be to take online courses in the areas that I need to upskill in order to move into that senior role. And then the third quarter might be to shadow a senior colleague on a project so that I get a better understanding of what moving into that senior role would look like. So as you can see, by breaking it down into exactly what you need to achieve per quarter, you can begin to work through, these are the milestones that I need to achieve per quarter to be able to actually achieve the final goal, which is to move into the senior role. If I was to just put move into senior role on my goal list, what's to say that I would actually achieve it at all, because I haven't put the steps in place to be able to achieve it. I have no idea what I need to do in order to move into that senior role. And then I like to highlight in yellow whenever I've achieved that particular goal in that particular quarter. So that is the template. It's very simple, but I like to use it because it really breaks down per quarter in a really simple way how to achieve a goal, a specific goal, by the end of the year, and keeps you on track to achieving that. That being said, it's important to be realistic, and when you review your goals throughout the year, if you need to tweak it or if you need to move the goalpost slightly, I think that's totally okay. And sometimes we set really high expectations at the beginning of the year and it's just not possible. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind as well. In addition to the goals that I set in the template, I also like to use some additional goal prompts, and these are from the Instagram account We're Not Really Strangers, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Their posts always hit you right in the feels. But a couple of years ago, I think it was, they, around New Year's, had posted some goal prompts that really resonated with me. I really liked them. They were very unique, I guess. So I have added them into my goal list. I just put them at the bottom of my template as an over and above goals. And I'll share them with you here. So what's one thing that you'd like to be able to easily afford this time next year? What's a nice thing that you'd like to be able to do for someone this year that you can't right now? What's one goal that would surprise you if you achieved it? And set a goal that seems attainable yet exciting. And lastly, set a goal that seems slightly unattainable but very exciting. So those are just some over and above prompts, but you might want to just use these prompts rather than the template altogether, and that's totally fine as well. I just like that these prompts are a little bit different to what you would normally use for goal setting. And lastly, something that's really important to me is setting a reminder in my diary every week to reflect on my goals. So I have an event every Friday at 8 a.m. and it's called Goals Review. And this is when I reflect on the week that was and what I need to do the following week in order to keep on track with my goals. Because I find that in the past, when I've set a goal at the beginning of the year, I didn't reflect or take the time to actually think about if I was even on the right track to achieving these goals. But by having a reminder in the diary to reflect on it every week, you really do set yourself up for success in that you're constantly having these goals at the top of your mind. So every week you're just setting yourself up just a little bit further to achieve said goal. And I think this is really important. So that is everything that I wanted to share for my goal setting tips for 2022. I hope you found it useful in any way. Let me know in the comments below. And also I will be linking the Google Sheets that I use, so you can copy that as well. And please hit subscribe. I am a new YouTuber, but I will be posting a lot of content in the coming weeks, and I'd love to have you come along for the ride. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.